Hi, my name's Dave. Welcome to Dave's English. And in today's video, we're not going to be talking about English. We're not even going to be talking about American culture. We're going to be talking about something totally different. Somebody who is very influential in the English learning community, and that is Marina McGilko, otherwise known as LinguaMarina. Now, I had been wondering if I wanted to do this video for a while because it is not related to English per se, like the rules or grammar or anything like that. And I try to have fun with my videos regarding that. However, I came across a video of hers that I thought was it perked my ears because she made some claims in those videos that I thought needed a little bit more context, especially from someone who is from the United States to people who are watching her channel who are mostly not from the United States and don't have the experience of living in the United States that both I and now she has. So I'm going to play this video and then we're going to look at some other stuff. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into that. So let me go ahead and play the video that she did on her channel back in 2019, April of 2019, which ironically at the time I was living in Russia. So yeah, so let's go ahead and roll the tape.
Question, were you rich when you moved to the US? I don't know if having $2,000 for the next 6 months is considered rich when you're moving to the US. This is what we had together with Dima, my husband. He was my boyfriend back then. So the idea was to come here and to get the investment, and we got an offer to get like $100,000 investment into our company, not in us, not in our pockets. But it took them 3 months to transfer money, and we're here in this city, and we spent our last money on getting, oh by the way, I had to press the buttons.
Wait.
And we had to get a car, and our first car was like $2,700. We actually borrowed some money from our CTO as well. So no, I don't think I was rich when I came here. We barely could afford like going to eat, and I was counting every dollar, and I relied on my mom as well to send me like maybe like $500 a month just to survive here. It was tough, but it taught us a lot.
All right, so for most people, that seems pretty straightforward. Somebody who worked hard, didn't have much money, came to the United States, and they were able to build a business to what they have it as now. Okay, it's the rags to riches story that we hear a lot about in the United States, and many of them are true. But the numbers that she used in this video just kind of perked my ears, and I was like, this isn't right. So the first thing I want to talk about is the $2,000 that she talks about. $2,000 for 6 months. Now, if you live in the Bay Area, for a one-bedroom apartment, the minimum you're going to pay is going to be $2,000 per month. So that would already take out that whole entire $2,000 a month amount. On top of that, if you do have an apartment, you're going to probably have to pay a security deposit. That's going to cost you another $2,000 a month. It's usually going to be your last month's rent, especially if you're coming from another country. This also doesn't include the security deposits on all the utilities, gas, electricity, water, or whatever else that you would have to do. Doesn't include the internet charge, which she would probably have to do, and the security deposit for that. So this whole $2,000 amount seemed really, really odd. And additionally, if you're coming over to the United States with only $2,000 and you're trying to get an apartment that costs $2,000, unless you have a job offer, you have a lot of money in the bank, which they're saying they didn't, you have some sort of funding that shows that you can afford that rent, no one's going to give you an apartment in the United States if you have no credit history, no work history, no rental history, especially if you're coming from another country with only $2,000 in the bank. Now, she never says that she lived with anyone during this time. That could have been the case, but she never says that. But the fact that she says she came over with only $2,000 seems kind of weird. Now, one thing she has talked about in her videos in the past that is out there and is true is she started her company LinguaTrip in Russia. And that's true. We know that. No problem with that. Now, in a few of her videos that I saw, she goes, oh, we did LinguaTrip and we were struggling to make money and find funding and all that. But then she came to Silicon Valley and she was able to get a $100,000 investment. Now, let's put this in perspective. If you have a company that you are saying in your videos this company is not doing that well, you have to try to get money and you're not getting any money and your company is kind of just not doing well, and then you come to the United States and you have no liquidity, no capital whatsoever, and you only have $2,000 to your name, who's going to invest in that? Right? Who in her right mind in Silicon Valley is going to say, you know what? You have a business that's going downhill, and you have $2,000 to your name. Yeah, we're going to give you $100,000. To me, that just didn't connect. Forget the whole idea of like her not being able to live in the United States based off of $2,000 for 6 months, by the way. You know, that didn't jive. All the other stuff just didn't make sense, didn't really come together. And I wanted to find out like a little bit more about her company, about the money that she had as an investment in it. So I went ahead and did a little bit of looking around. Now, a lot of it was just formality. So she formed her company here in the United States, LinguaTrip, in 2015. She formed it as a Delaware company. And by the way, if you're wondering, that's totally fine. Delaware has like the most lax laws when it comes to creating an LLC or a company. I had a company there when I used to do political consulting. It was based out of Delaware, so it's nothing big. But what I did is I started looking at some of the YouTube videos that I could find regarding her investment. So I want to show you a YouTube video from 2015. Now, the video that I am going to show you are from the people who gave her that $100,000 investment. And let's look at what she says about her company, LinguaTrip. Okay, let's go.
Learning to speak a foreign language by using an app? It's like becoming a VC after reading a book. Yes, you can get the basics, but you can never start speaking a foreign language unless you immerse in it. Our clients know it. This is why we have been growing 50% month over month, have 4 extra revenues during the program, and have made 45K in revenues in July alone.
Okay, so I'm going to just stop right here. So already, right off the bat, she says that in the month of July, which would have been the month preceding the month that she's doing the video in, she says that her company has made $45,000. Now, I tried to look for information about how many employees a company could have had at the time, and I don't really see a large number. It does seem like a lot of it are the 3 people that are involved. Her boyfriend at that time, Dima, who is now her husband, and their tech guy, who is Dmitry Kravchuk. Okay, these are the only people I see. And I keep on wanting to say Igor Kravchuk, but that's a hockey player. Anyway, so these are the people that are involved. So let's just take that number, 45,000, for 1 month, for July. Now, let's say your overhead was 50%, which would be high, especially for a tech company that you don't require any space. It's not Facebook, Google, or anything like that. You don't need to, have a bunch of servers anywhere or whatever. So let's just look at it that way. If her overhead was 50% and then they split everything 3 ways amongst the partners, that would mean that each one of them would be getting $7,500 per month, which means at minimum, when they came to the United States per month, based on that number, they would be bringing in $15,000 a month, which is a far cry from I only had $2,000, and I was very poor and I had to eat ramen story. She's here bragging, and rightfully so, she's trying to get funding. She's bragging about how much money her company makes. Now, let's keep on going in this video.
We have launched in January this year
we've already made 165K in revenues, and we helped 100 plus clients book their language immersions abroad. And once our clients discover us, they stay with us. This is why we already get repeat sales, and our customer lifetime value is $400 and growing. And as I said, we 4x our revenues during the program.
So now we've gone from making the $45,000 in 1 month to making $165,000 throughout the course of that year, which would have been from January to July. Now, if I'm a company, or if I'm an investor, let me say, and you tell me that you have had $165,000 come into your company, but you yourself only have $2,000 to come to the United States, that would tell me you're bad with money. Okay, that would tell me that you're just really, really bad with money, which then, as these numbers come up and as she boasts about how much money that her company is making and that she wants funding to come to the United States, or she wants someone to invest so that she can come to the United States, and we'll talk about that in a second, it's not really jiving. This whole, I only have $2,000, but now my company in 7 months has made $165,000. Again, these numbers are not adding up, not even nearly adding up. This I'm a poor immigrant story is not adding up. Let's go to the next clip of the video.
My team and I are serial entrepreneurs. We have previously built a successful company in language travel. We bootstrapped it to 1.5 million in revenues. And I have been on this market for 5 years.
All right, so we have gone from I was poor and only had $2,000 when I came to the United States to we are serial entrepreneurs that have done multiple companies about languages and have bootstrapped, which just basically means they made and they have connected to these companies $1.5 million. So we've gone from the poor $2,000 poor immigrant story to the our companies combined have $1.5 million connected to them. Okay, this is an absolute change in the persona that she has. Now, when it comes to that $100,000, she even kind of gives it away in one of her videos about how she came to the US. She talks about how when she created the packet for her immigration, she put in this packet a lot of the stuff regarding her connection with this 500 startups who gave her the funding. Essentially, this 500 startups, yes, they gave her the funding. That funding wasn't going to help her with her business. Her business was growing already. They were the ones that connected her with the visa, it seems like, in order for her to come here. So it mostly seemed like the benefit of that was not the funding, but was the visa for her and her business partners.
I visited before, and it has always been my dream to at least live here for a while. And I started my university applications at the same time. So I was like, what would be the best way to move? And then we got accepted to 500. So the problem was solved. And yes, so we came in 2015 on a tourist visa. Then we got our O1 visas and came back in 2016. And then I applied for a green card. So now we're here.
So she acts as if she came over with nothing. She started a company with this investment of $100,000 and she grew it from that. When the real fact is she already had a number of successful companies that had bootstrapped over $1.5 million and that were doing quite well. She came over to the United States and she wanted to then get immigration so that she could build her company in the United States. This seems to be the story. Now, before we go into it, do I have any problem with how she built this business, how she then connected with the amount of money she made, and now she has gotten a visa and citizenship to be here in the United States? And by the way, she, in the last 2 years, has also gotten a $1.7 million investment from an investor that allows her to spend money on anything, like anything, for, even a house, anything. And again, not my words, it's her words.
In their career, give them money up front to invest in content or for just financial security. In my case, they told me, like, if you feel that if you buy a house that gives you more energy to create, then do it. If you want to hire an extra nanny to help you with the kids, then do it. So I can do anything with the money. And anything with my content. I can even stop creating for several years if I feel that this is the best. But their hope, so it's not like a cash, it is structured as a cash flow deal. But in reality, it provides a good return for investors if I become the next Jeff Bezos of creator space.
I have all these videos where I talk about all this stuff linked below. But no, I don't have any problem with that. I mean, that's fine. She succeeded in business, and congratulations to her. That's how you do it. I have no problem with that. The problem I have is when you tell people who are your subscribers, who your business is built on, that you came here as a poor immigrant, you only had $2,000 and an idea, and then you went ahead and built your idea, and now you're a millionaire, or whatever she is right now. That's the problem I have. That's called deception. You are at that point preying on people. At that point, you were saying, listen, I did it this way. You can do it too this way. But she doesn't tell her full story. And the problem I have is that this poor immigrant from Russia story that she tells is not her real story. Now, she might say that it is, but it is not, because the proof is actually there as to how much money her business made by her own admission. Okay? By her own admission. And this is the issue I have. She gives us the poor immigrant story to get you to subscribe to her channel, to say, trust me, LinguaMarina, because I was here and I've built my way up to being what it is. If I built myself up, you can build yourself up too. She gives this story with this narrative of starting from the bottom and working your way up, when her story is anything but. Now, I don't know what info-gypsyism is in Russia or whatever, but I assume it's along these lines, where somebody says that they are something, but in reality, there may be something else. And this is the problem with LinguaMarina. Again, I have no problem with the success that she had with her businesses. Why didn't she just say that? I mean, because she could have talked about the success she had in Russia, building a company, and then coming to the United States and taking that success in Russia and then giving her this. But no, she tells people the story about she had no money when she came to the United States. Why? Because it's all about the American dream. She's trying to sell the American dream and the whole stories. And you hear them all the time about coming over here with a few $1,000s and having nothing and building what you can. And the reason why this makes me mad is that I have had so many students who have seen things like this online. They're like, I'm going to go to America. I'm going to get a job in tech. I'm going to be able to live well. And then they get here and they find out the reality of it is different. Yeah, they're able to get that job maybe. Yeah, they're maybe able to get, money and whatnot. But they find out life is a lot harder here. And her selling of this dream that she does not represent at all, because the way she did it was totally different. The fact that she, to me, deceives people on how she came here is a disservice to her subscribers, a disservice to the English learning world, because she's also taking this I was here, now I'm here, look at me concept and transferring it to English teaching as well. It is the I was here, now I'm up here, and it is a ruse. It's a facade. It isn't what it is. All right, so that's all for me. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video. They will be about English, but I just wanted to talk about this. And again, all the links are below about the videos that she has done and about the money that she says she has and stuff like that. But again, if you are going to be somebody, a figure that a lot of people trust, and your story is to be inspirational for a lot of people to follow, tell the right story. Don't tell the fake story. Tell people what you really went through. Otherwise, when people start looking into you and find out, you know what, this isn't really how you got there, then it makes your story look bad. But thank you all very much. Have a wonderful day wherever it is you are, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.